Untitled Chapter people, here back at the store, wanted to share with you guys another wonderful herb that has been studied for centuries. It has been well researched, but I want to share some of the biochemistry, some of the phytochemistry, so that you'll know when to use it, how to use it, and why not to use it. So today's herb of the day, we are talking about licorice root. Well known in the herbal Chinese medicine as sweetwood. So that's where you'll find it in those areas of the Mediterranean, the southern Russia, the Central Asia, and China area. That's where you will have the best licorice root. You guys already know that we used to eat the black licorice as a child. And it has some of that licorice extract, some of that sweet flavor that we know as the phytochemical in licorice root. And it is called Glycorrhizin. So that's the plant family. The glycyrrhetinic acid is really known to help us as an anti-inflammatory, an anticoagulant, an antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-tumor, hepatoprotective. It has a list of a number of different benefits, and it also has some side effects. So I'm going to let you guys know that it is very, very good for our digestive issues. So if someone comes in and they said, hey, I got H. pylori and I don't want to take the antibiotic, so what do you have for it? So I already would tell them that licorice root is really good for that, and you may want to add some garlic and some honey to actually cure at least 30% of that H. pylori. So the more and more you use it, the better that H. pylori bacteria gets. And you can also use it for things like gastritis, if you had food poisoning, or if you had some type of stomach ache, stomach upset. This will actually resist the irritation in that hydrochloric acid. So heartburn. This is a very good thing for heartburn because it soothes the mucosal membranes of the esophagus. So licorice root has those type of benefits. It's also good for the gastritis. It's good for to add to other herbs. So when you use it with other herbs, guys, this has a harmonious, synergistic effect that should be added with other carminative herbs for digestive system, other laxative with laxative properties. So licorice is really mild laxative on the bowels. So you can handle the licorice root with no problem. But I do want to share with you guys some of the anti-inflammatory responses that it does with like gingivitis, hepatitis. All of those are really good to use for licorice root because it directly affects the NF-kappa B of our digestive system. So use the licorice root for digestive issues. Another thing you want to use it for is it's phytochemistry, guys. So the phytochemistry is wonderful in this licorice root. I like it because of the glycyrrhetinic acid. It comes with other saponin effects. So in the saponin family, you'll find flavonoids, you'll find coumarins, you'll find isoflavonoids, you'll find phenolics, you'll find all those different types of saponins. And one of the main ones I like to go over with you is the coumarins. Now the coumarins, we are known as for things like warfarin, blood thinning, anticoagulant effects. And if you are using it for that, if you have thrombosis, that'd be a good time to drink the licorice tea. All right. Make sure you add it with other things so that you can actually improve its effectiveness. Licorice for thrombosis is a really good thing. All right. But licorice for, you can use it for its glabidine effects, which is one part of the isoflavonoids, and that is really good for changing estrone, which is one of the weaker estrogens, guys, estrone, and turn estriol, which is a good estrogen. So those of you guys that are going through PCOS, this is a good thing to use as well. So for the men, if you are creating too much DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone, and you need a better way to stop that conversion, this will be a good DHT blocker. So we know dihydrotestosterone causes a man's hairline to recede. So regrow your hairline or stop that progression with the licorice root. All right, so another thing that people would use the actual licorice root for is to stop canker sores inside of their mouth. All right, so back in the day, you would take the actual rhizome or the stem, the root stem, and use it as a toothbrush to clear up gingivitis because that's anti-inflammatory, and the canker sores would cure with the licorice root. So there's a lot of different things that we can use this for, but when people come in and I tell them that this is not my go-to herb and I'm not a fan of it, I have to make sure that they're not on blood pressure medications. And one of the things that this does is it directly affects our ROS system. So I teach at the School of Phytochemistry, Shalom Health Institute, and we talk about how sodium retention starts within the convoluted tubule of our kidneys and our nephrons. And this is where sodium starts to reabsorb, and wherever sodium goes, water will follow. So if you're going through edema, some type of bloating, or if you have chronic kidney disease, you don't want to use the licorice root because of the glycyrrhetinic effects. All right. This can cause too much renin to be produced. It can cause the angiotensin to convert over to angiotensin 2, and that would mean that you would have more higher blood pressure. So things like that, ACE inhibitors, lisinopril, don't take the licorice root with lisinopril. Don't take it with other blood thinners as well. So there's some things that you have to be aware of. Also, if you understand about electrolyte imbalances, you want to be careful because this could cause hypokalemia. And hypokalemia is basically when you have low potassium because of there's so much sodium retention that's going on within the kidneys. This could cause muscle twitching, and too much of it, you can have heart failure with low potassium. So be careful, guys. You always know that you can drink this as a tea, but it acts synergistically with other herbs. I'm not trying to scare you away from the licorice root, but I'm letting you know it does have great benefits. It also has some weird side effects, so be careful. It does have phenolics in it. It has a lot of antioxidants. And like I said, I can only go over so many different benefits, guys, but I hope this helps and you go ahead and take up some.